Welcome in to a live edition of the Cavalier Connection. I'm Jeff, joined by Jay tonight. How are you doing, Jay?
I'm doing fantastic, Jeff. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. Tonight we're going to just talk a little, know, the Virginia Duke game, just a little look back. Play Carolina Saturday, and then talk a little bit about Coach Sanchez and the coaching staff. Um, and kind of talk about swimming, softball, baseball. A lot of good things going on in Charlottesville right now. So, but before we get started, we want to talk about our friends over at Mincer's. Are you stuck inside? I'm stuck inside here in Hampton Roads. We got here in Chesapeake. I got about 8-9 inches. Virginia Beach had 10 or 11 inches of snow, which is a lot for us, folks. If you're up north, I know you're laughing at us, but the Cavalier Connection says it's the perfect time to shop Mincer's UVA and printed sportswear online if you're stuck inside. Grab fresh UVA gear or score big with orange tag sales. Don't miss out. Upgrade your Wahoo wardrobe from the comfort of your home. Shop now and stay game ready. Mincer's. I see you got a couple Mincer's gears on yourself tonight, Jay.
Yeah, I'm ashamed of us again. We think a lot. We think alike a little too much
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And
I got the blue sweatpants on, and because I wasn't working today, so I had to go to white. It's a matching thing. You got
yeah,
the white blue sleeves, orange hat. It's all how you look here on the
yeah.
screen.
This hat rarely leaves my head. I'm gonna be honest. Like it rarely leaves my head if I'm out of the house, unless I've taken the time to actually like comb my hair and try to look presentable. This hat's more than likely on my head. So I'll wear it out probably pretty quick, and then I'll be going to Mentzer's, getting me another one.
Getting another one. The good thing is you can go to Misters.com for that one. But so Virginia played Duke on Saturday and lost 80-62. They did not cover the spread. I think it was 14. But that game was pretty kind of out of hand. Um, second half. What do we get down? 28 or so. Um,
Yeah, Jeff, I don't know. That game kind of went, I think, how most people pretty much thought it was going to go. You know what I mean? Um,
except you. What was your final score prediction?
my final score prediction was 74-64 Duke. Um,
Which that,
and
that, that would have been a good score.
yeah, I mean, it would have. I mean, that would have been a great way to go. Um, it was one of those games where you could tell, like, for one, the atmosphere was outstanding. So when the game started and we came out just making everything,
Oh yeah.
and we got to the first TV timeout, I think we were still down like 13-12 or something. And I knew when we were down, whatever it was, 13-12, whatever, we scored that many points in the first 4 minutes by draining everything, and we're still behind. You just know it's going to be a little bit of a tough night. But this is one of those Duke teams. Duke is always like hype, 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 hype. And I think this is one of those Duke teams that actually could do some damage in the tournament, and is a legitimate national championship contender this year.
Yeah, they're tough. I had the final, I think 84-67. So my differential wasn't off by much. My score was. Before the game, you had posted a poll on X, and I just wanted to kind of go down to it. As a UVA men's hoops fan tonight, what is the outcome at a minimum you need to see to feel okay with Ron? We had 81 folks participate, and 38.3% said lose by 10 plus, but fight. 29.6 win, 32.1% lose close. Um, Dang, if you thought he had to win to keep his job, that's you've moved on for sure. Um, but
I just don't think that's fair. You know, it's just not fair. How could you? I mean, the man can't work miracles, right? I mean, that just seems like you're you're really stretching there. But as we always do, Jeff, we always say people are free to think what they want, and if people, I love high expectations, but good God, that's a tough one. I mean,
Dougie Fresh had replied that night and said, "Just fight and want to see some wrinkles. Hire Ron for 2 to 3 more years, no matter what." We know he's on the uh, Ron Sanchez train for sure.
yeah, he's definitely on the Sanchez train, as is I think most of locker room access. And obviously I think TW is Dougie Fresh. I haven't heard what Havlicek's take is on that. And so I know he wasn't on when you were on with him. And so I'd be curious what his take is. I need to, probably listen to a few more episodes. I'm sure he's talked about it.
I just want to run through some tweets that some of these folks said. JB UVA fan mag. I'm thinking that's MAGA probably. Yeah, but you left out the most likely scenario, losing by 25 to 35 points. We've had some wins lately, but they've been against the worst teams in the conference, and that's true.
Mm-hmm.
The teams we beat have not been very good. So
Georgia Tech would be probably would that be the best win? God, I hate to say
probably
that.
so. It's rough. I mean, you look
at the time, Pitt was pushing for a tournament bid, but
so that's probably the best win. Pitt.
Yeah, Pitt on the road. I mean,
but then you look at Virginia Tech. They played a terrible Boston College team. They had 11 at halftime. Finished and with 4 minutes to go, they had 26 points.
Yeah, they got smoking hot and finished with 36.
Yeah. Glenn Wilkinson said can't use a 1-game sample for that, and that's true. Duke, if we're judging it on Duke, Sanchez is out. So, and in order to feel Zen_Gore, in order to feel okay with Ron as the permanent head coach, there's no scenario where I'm going to be at that place yet. Have the last 2 weeks been better? Absolutely. Do I think we can make a better hire regardless of how the season ends? Absolutely. So, many people on many different trains here. I don't know. We were off the Sanchez train. We got back on it a little bit. And at this point with Duke and the way this schedule sets up for the rest of the year, I think it's going to be difficult. I don't know. It's a hard end to the season, so it's going to be difficult. To
Jeff,
judge off of this.
Yeah, like can I tell you what I think about, and I think people our age will definitely understand this. I feel like I'm Kelly Kapowski at the max. And Zach is my boyfriend, and that new manager is in there, and
taking her to the attic.
Yes, yeah. It's like you feel bad, like you probably need to break up with Ron. I mean, it's not fair. Like nothing this season can honestly go against Ron. But I do look at like the end of the Tony Bennett era wasn't great. We said Tony can stay as long as he wants. And if Tony has this season, you just chalk it up and you go into the next one. Like nobody's talking about getting rid of Tony if he has this exact year. But it's like, it's hard to break up with Zach Morris. I mean, you know what I mean? Zach. I look at Ron like, man, he's such a great guy. You can see the passion he has for the kids, for the university. And if you get rid of him, you're not just getting rid of him, you're getting rid of some longtime UVA guys, potentially, because any new coach is going to bring it in, and there's no guarantee a new coach is going to be anything special. But, man, I do feel like it's probably best to just move on and start fresh with a new situation. And that doesn't always mean it's going to be better. Like I said, you got to, but I feel like we're just grasping to the Tony Bennett error by keeping him. And, you know, you can't
We're jumping
replicate
around
what Tony
here. We're jumping around here. We've been off the train, on the
Well,
train.
I've been off the train, and then I'm riding the
You
fence.
worked your way back. I was the one that I was way off the train.
Yeah.
Way off the train. Back after that Notre Dame game, I was like, this is a wrap.
Yeah, I'm still I think ultimately I'm landing on make a move. But I don't want to see Kyle go, and I don't want to see Jay Willie. I don't want to see him go anywhere. So that it's like one of them things, man. It's just hard. It's I feel like you're breaking up with your high school sweetheart, and you know, who knows what happens when you get to college.
So then you posted another one after the Duke game. You said UVA men's hoops could have been coached by Phil Jackson, assisted by Red Auerbach and John Wooden, and lost by 20 tonight. Can't blame Ron. That got a lot of fire on the X. So Ron has been recruiting for Tony for 15 years, but now he's going to get better recruits. Come on, man. He couldn't even get Khalifa and Igor to come play for him at UVA in the portal. I don't know about Igor coming anyway.
Well, Igor visited.
I know he did, but once you've left the first time, I don't think you're coming back again.
Right. I've only heard of that a couple of times.
Right. And then I know you replied, not what I said, but last night was not on Ron. To keep him or not is another conversation. And now, this is where some confusion gets in. Our guy CF LSG BG WSS says, so now you're not on the Ron train. Thought you wanted him to get 4 years for recruiting instead of a 2-year add-on. So I don't know that. I know Dougie Fresh says 2 to 3 years. If you sign him, I think you got to do 4, or you just got to move on.
You got to do 4, or you, like I said, I think first of all, people have to realize we all three at times post from this account, and we don't always put like Jay in parentheses or Jeff or whatever. So you may
95% of the time it is Jay, folks.
Yes, I will say
I'm not the social media guru.
It is more me. However, it's one of them situations where I try, if I'm putting out what I think is going to be a saucy opinion, to put my name by it so you don't get stuck with it. But it's yeah, I mean, you can't blame Ron for Duke. You just can't. And that's really all it came down to for me is, that Duke game really didn't mean anything. It was an opportunity to do well. It's like if the teacher says, I'm going to give you this test and I'll only count it if it helps you. Right. I can't really count this against him because he had no business being in that game. And like I said in that tweet, you could have put the best coaches in the world on the sideline. It wouldn't matter. Like the talent gap was just too great.
We have one 5-star on our roster, and that 5-star played the last 30 seconds of the game. Duke had him for a season, shipped him our way, and he put in about 30 seconds, and he started game 1 this year, and that one, it's a head scratcher.
How do you?
I was on that podcast, the Duke podcast, the 5. Gosh, help me, Jay.
5-point play.
5-point play, and they were asking me. I mean, the first thing they said to me was, "Well, we'd like to apologize for TJ Power." It's a shame. And so when you look at the Duke roster, and then you got Carlos Boozer at the game, who's bringing his boys into Duke, the train just keeps running. North Carolina, their train, it looks like it's coming to a screeching halt, but Duke, their stuff keeps running. I don't know. Sanchez, I don't know. There's some names that they mention out there that obviously, if we could pull in a Shaka Smart or somebody like that,
Yeah.
that'd be quite to get. And the portal would be wide open for us with a guy like Shaka Smart. Guys will want to come play for him. But
Yeah, if there's anybody out there, who would you want to coach the team next year? Give us your comments, questions. I don't really. I'm not going to be angry like at the administration. There's going to be some people. If we keep Ron, you're going to see the post. I won't go to another game. Blah 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 blah. And then you're going to have some people. If they fire Ron, man, I can't believe they fired Ron. He didn't have a fair shot. And I mean, he hasn't had a fair shot. That's a fact. I mean, but any shot you get to be the head coach at the University of Virginia, like, I mean, you got one shot, and you're not, you had to cook the dinner, but not buy the groceries, and it hasn't been great.
I'm with you. Either way, I'm not going to be over the top upset if they get rid of him. I'm not going to be over the top upset if they keep him. I just want the team to win.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Right.
So I did have another funny tweet to me that was put out. Cavalier Prods said, UVA baseball loses. I have no Valentine. Eagles parade going on. What's next? A Ron Sanchez extension? Oh, gosh.
That's a good one. I mean, all I can see is doing the Kellen head drop, Jeff.
No, that's the J head drop when he walks in and sees him sitting in the chair playing the computer game. But yeah, and so I did want to play a little video, Cal Guy, talking about Coach Sanchez. Thanks to TW and Locker Room Access who did this interview.
The main man now, Ron Sanchez. Tell us, what has it been like now that he's at the helm? You've seen him as well. He left when you were as a player, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so he was. I owe Coach Sanchez a lot, man. He was the guy who found me. Now, at the point he found me, I was starting to I had offers and I was starting to hit the ground running. I was ranked and stuff, so it wasn't like I was hidden. But within the talent I was surrounded with, like I was at a camp, and he was there watching Peyton Pritchard, and I was playing really well and going at him. And so that's when we were in Chicago, and he called Coach Bennett. And the very next day, he said, "You have to be here. Fly now." TB flew and watched me, and that was that. So he kind of got this whole thing started with me at UVA. He left after my sophomore year, which stunk because, three people I felt the most bad for after we won the championship was Isaiah, Devin Hall, and Sanchez, because they didn't get a chance to redeem themselves.
Right.
But I'm just really enjoying being around him again. He's just an awesome dude. Anyone who's best friends with Tony Bennett is going to be you know what I mean? Like I keep saying to some from the same family tree, like it's, apple doesn't fall far. So it's been a treat working with him. He's starting to come into his own. He's been a head coach before, which I think helped, but at this level with guys that he didn't necessarily recruit. And so he's had a lot of hiccups that he's handled really well, and we're rolling.
You've seen it go. Like, what are some of the cool adjustments that you've seen Sanchez make?
He's definitely trying to revolutionize some of the offensive things we've done. I think, again, if this was year 3, you would already see what his full dream come to fruition it would be. But you're right. We're already seeing some of it this year. He definitely is he's an offensive mind that defense is not lost on him. He does, he's definitely always has something cool going in his mind about offense, but again, lays into his staff about making sure we have defensive principles, and he honestly projects defense more than offense to the players. Maybe to us it's a little bit more 50-50, but I think right now we're trying to get the guys to play a certain way, and defense comes first in that instance.
So that's a Cal Guy talking about Ron Sanchez. He one of the things he says speaks to what Doug Smith says. he says if this was 3 years down the road, you'd see some of the offensive adjustment. And Smith says he needs 2 to 3 years. I
think one of the things that Virginia is just really lacking is an athletic wing. We just don't have that. And we really haven't had it really since probably, have we had one since Dre? I'm trying to think of who we have had since then that may fit the bill.
We probably had them, but I don't know if they were used properly. You had the year with oh gosh, my man in New Orleans.
You talking about the Pelicans?
Pelicans.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Trey Murphy.
Yeah, Trey Murphy. We had a lot of athletic guys. I don't think they were used. Just like Ryan Dunn was not used in a certain way.
Yeah, and I guess I should have counted Dunn in there. Obviously, he's an athletic wing, but when I say that, I mean a scoring, shooting. You know what I mean?
But you see Trey Murphy.
Oh yeah, but Trey had the shot when he was at Virginia. He was like a spot up shooter, but he's not that in the NBA. He is, like you said, he's a outstanding.
But we didn't run any. And
right.
We didn't utilize the talents, which would have set up. You had a roster with Trey Murphy, and think about Sam Hauser on that outside. Sam Hauser couldn't really get going with Virginia because he couldn't. The rhythm was an issue, and can you imagine like a Trey Murphy, running with the ball, and they collapse to the lane, they kick it out, and Sam Hauser has a 3 waiting for him.
Yeah, was that the 2020 team?
20. Was it 20 or 21?
I don't. Well, I'm thinking was Huff on that roster? Because if so, you had 3 NBA players.
Right.
And Reese, I think, was a freshman on that team, wasn't
he? Yes, and then of course Kihei was on that team. That team should have done so much better. And I'll never forget. I bought that stupid for one game, Flow Sports. Because they played. Remember, they played in a tournament or somewhere. I don't remember
San Francisco.
Something crazy, and they destroyed whoever they played. And I'll never forget. Somebody had posted. There was a national college basketball name, and I don't remember who it was. It was like, can we just give Virginia the national title now? That year was not very good. It was all right.
Yeah, we would have made the tournament. I think we were right there in the ACC for the, getting the double bye and whatnot. But I'd have to go back and look and see how.
Yeah, I think that was potentially a 21 season.
Was it? Was it 21?
Because no, it was 20 because we lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament to.
Well, 20 didn't we not have the tournament?
I thought
we missed that.
Oh,
they canceled it with COVID.
So 21. Did they still have restrictions in 21? Where
we played it in 21? I think
the team had COVID. Remember, the team was sick for that first round tournament game. Somebody important. There was a couple players.
Yeah. That was the year that Vanderplas beat us, Ohio University.
That's right. Yep, Ohio beat us. Then we brought Vanderplas in, who, by the way, he had a 40-point game though. I don't know if you saw it overseas.
Somewhere overseas, yeah.
Somewhere over the rainbow, he hit 40. He could never really get going for Virginia. There was a little stretch where he had gotten hot, and he got the starting job over. I don't remember who was the man at the time in the middle. They went small. I just remember them going small, and things went well for just a little bit.
And then his shot went away, and once his shot wasn't there anymore, it was like, all right, this experiment can't continue if he's not making shots.
At the end of the day, in a head coach, what's the number one priority in our head coach? Is it to win basketball games? Is it to run
for me, or for you think?
I'm asking for you. What do you want?
Well, yeah, you got to, first and foremost, you got to win. You can be the biggest a-hole in the world, but if you win, like if Hurley was here, as much as I can't stand him at Connecticut, and I hate the way he coaches. I hate the way he does everything. But he wins. I mean, I want to win.
You know how Virginia likes to look at things. I'm just asking you.
Yeah,
So I'll give you a scenario. Virginia has a bastard, a head coach who wins. Let's say he wins. We're going to talk Virginia here. He wins a national title in a 5-year span. And then you get a nicer person, just more classy. What'd you say?
Normal Virginia,
classy, who runs a clean program, who wins you one in 10 years.
Right. Well, if you're winning national championships, period, I'll take either one of you.
Well, I agree.
But
do we really want to go down
over the long haul? You take even if you win 1 in 10, I'll take the nice guy.
So do you want? What about? Do you want somebody to come in and be an offensive coach? Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't think you can do one, and I don't think you can't win. Well, I'm not gonna say you can't. It's very hard to win when you are running a complicated defense. Good defense must be played to win, but complicated defense, and they say the pack line is complicated because everybody has to move on a string. When one piece moves, the other piece has to react. And right now, we're not doing that very well.
And so we're really kind of pulling out of the pack line.
I think. Well, we're pulling out of the results. I think we're still trying.
Yeah, but I think we've kind of went away from it, not completely. But
if you ask Ron, I would say he's still saying they play the pack line.
But it
looks awful.
It doesn't look like the pack line to me.
Yeah, I mean, guys are getting beat off the dribble. Guys aren't reacting when the post gets doubled. Sometimes they don't react, to the first pass. Guys I've seen guys leave the ball and we never used to give up just uncontested layup.
Dunk. Yeah.
And golly day, man, it's hard to watch some of that, but you don't want to bring in somebody who has a history of being a 50-60 point a game guy. I don't think you want to do that. So if I had to choose offense or defense, go ahead and give me the offense, because one, that opens up recruiting again, because guys want to play in the NBA. They want to play offense. They want to score the basketball. They want to get up and down the court. They want to run. And guys just don't want to, Ron mentioned this in the press conference. Everybody wants a trophy, but nobody wants to work to get it. And this is same thing with defense. Everybody wants to get a stop, but who wants to put in the practice time to be really good at defense?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, though, Coach Bennett, he put guys in the NBA. It's just as a college coach, the
talent that Tony Bennett brought into the program is absurd when you look at it now.
Right. I'm saying they were good at recruiting. And then, with Sanchez, if we have Sanchez back, we have a shot of Chance Mallory. But, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. Long haul.
Well, Mallory is a true point guard. Right now, Rhodey's playing the point, doing a really good job over the last. Just over the course of the season. I'd say at the beginning he was a little shaky, like in that West Virginia? No, Memphis. That he was a little shaky, but after that game, he's been real solid. Do you just turn the team over to a freshman and put Rhodey over on the wing or something? Or I don't know. Yeah. Gertrude will be back. What is he going to play if he comes back? You just got to – it's a lot to figure out. And the sooner they make the decision on the head coach, I think a lot of these dominoes, will fall into place.
Once again, it was brought up to me again this past week. And expect the decision to be made by March 15th, and definitely no later than the end of March. There'll be a coach in place.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, same guy telling me the same thing from his source. Somebody from the VAF that was this is what they're saying. I don't know. You said on X last year Rhodey was awful. This year he's been outstanding. Which player is most likely to make a big leap next year, assuming the roster stays intact? Anthony Robinson, Blake Buchanan, Elijah Gertrude, or other? And overwhelmingly, Anthony Robinson got 63% of the vote on 108. We had somebody chime in, Kofi or Sharma.
Unfortunately, Twitter only gives you 4 choices, and so I went with 3 and then just put other. I had instead of Gertrude, since he hasn't actually played, so it's not apples to apples. I was thinking about Sharma or Kofi. It could have been either one there. Instead of Buchanan, I mean, you could have gone with any of those guys, but I think Robinson is the right answer. To me, he looks like an NBA player to me. Just his athleticism, his ability to finish. He's already a pretty good free throw shooter. You would imagine he'll only get better. If he developed any kind of like little outside shot with the first step quickness that he has, I mean, he's blowing by bigs. And then his length on defense, I mean, he's a problem. He's one of those guys that you're going to look up in 10 years and be like, man, Virginia had him. And did we do everything we could have done while we had him?
Right.
That's.
I'll say, I know you weren't here on our episode with Joe Reed, but our Mensor's moment was that Anthony Robinson block of Cooper Flagg, and that was on the national. That was national news. If you pulled up the internet, videos are surfacing on that one. I guess the most positive thing that happened in that game for Virginia was that block on, and unfortunately, it was off of a bad turnover that he had to
real
make
bad
that block.
Turnover.
Yeah.
We need to reach out. Well, we'll never do it. We'll never. I was gonna say what my thought was. We need to reach out to get Robinson on the show, but we're not allowed to. We're not allowed to get basketball players.
Oh gosh, yeah. Anthony, if you're out there listening, when your career is over at Virginia, look up the Cavalier Connection. We'll bring you on,
or just go to the representative and say, hey, these guys have not approached me, but I know they'd like to interview me because they talked about me. Can I go on their show?
Yeah.
We would love to have it.
Football's got gotten wind of us. We were able to have football players on, coming out of the portal last year. And so we try to get you guys when you commit. And actually next Thursday, we got our friend Tyler Neville coming back on again. Second time as he gets ready to embark on the NFL and, see what his future holds. Great guest, fun to talk to. I know last time when he was on, Jay, you were unable to be there. So,
and he was sick. Maybe hopefully he'll be healthy and
he's entertaining. Entertaining guy. So next Thursday, so that's one he's finished with the program, so he can jump on with us now.
One of our quarterbacks, I'm not going to call him out by name because I don't want to be dirty, but one of the quarterbacks who's not a quarterback at UVA anymore had responded and said that he was going to come on, but when I started putting out dates and times, it was just like ghosting. Goodbye. No more responses.
Oh yeah.
So that's frustrating, but we love the guys that we do get, and we're lucky to get and grateful for the ones we do get. We got another great guest, Jeff, coming up 2 weeks from tonight. A legend for guys like you and me. Should I spoil it or should we?
The old heads.
Yeah. Should we spoil it?
It's up to you if you want to tell it.
Well, Yeah, I guess I can go ahead and spoil it because he's definitely coming on. None other than Norman Nolan. Norman Nolan.
Yep.
Big time 6'8" forward from late 90s, or I think he finished in the early 2000 or right at 2000. But yeah, we're excited to talk to him, and we know that'll be another great interview that hopefully everybody out there will enjoy.
I know that Ralph is out there listening as well. Ralph, I sent you a message hoping to get in touch with you, and maybe we can have a nice conversation with the legend, the UVA legend, Ralph Sampson as well.
Jeff, you know there's one guy that I desperately want, and I feel like we should be able to get him. We need Dougie Fresh to hook us up. Who was my guy growing up?
Harold Dean.
Harold Dean. Why can't we get Harold? We got to get Harold Dean.
No.
We got to get Harold Dean. I mean,
Harold Dean.
Love that guy.
I'm looking to John Crotty myself, but
John Crotty, I feel like we should be able to get John Crotty. I mean, I know he's busy with the NBA, probably still calling games, but
we probably had to hit him in the off season. A lot of the basketball guys, it's hard to get right now because they're involved in coaching. So that
was one of the comments we got. And just so people know, one of the comments on the Saber was, "Do you guys ever do basketball, guys? I would watch more of your stuff if you did basketball, but you do mostly football, guys." And the truth of the matter is, I mean, for one, football has 80 guys a year on the roster, 85 actually on the roster every year, and basketball has what, 15? Right. So just on sheer numbers, it's harder to get basketball. And then just as in general, we've found it's harder to get basketball guys on. For whatever reason.
We have had some. And
we have had quite a few.
Definitely.
But it's just easier to get football because you have so many.
Yeah. And the recruiting that's happening nonstop.
Yeah.
Has allowed us to get the new guys coming in. So
yeah,
but I know I said this last episode. If you have any connections, anybody you'd like to come on, we'd love to have you. Sean Singletary, love to have you.
Yes, absolutely.
The names are limitless right now. We'd love to get all of you guys on, hear your story. We talked to Joe Reed on Tuesday. He was a fun one to talk to, and kickoff return specialist. Got to play in the Orange Bowl. Played in the NFL with the Chargers for a bit. I told him, I said, Mason, my youngest, that's his favorite. That was his favorite guy at UVA. He's playing bad, and I come in the room. He's got Joe Reed on the Redskins, and made the immediate trade to get him on the roster. So, yeah. Well, to be determined on Ron Sanchez and UNC Saturday.
Tough loss for the women tonight. I was able to watch the first 3 quarters of that game before we started getting ready for this, and check the score. End up, taking a tough, fairly close loss. Coach Mox hopefully can get these girls turned around. I know there's some frustration with some out there. And I mean, I'm a little frustrated too. I thought we had more talent than, being 5-10 in the ACC. So, frustration. I think I'm more frustrated with the results of the women's team this year, just based on expectations.
Yeah. Also wanted to mention the women's swimming team. The 800 meter free relay time of 6 minutes and 44 seconds, the new NCAA dive record. The women's swimming now owns all ACC conference records. There's 19 ACC conference records, and UVA owns all of those. Unbelievable. I know people like to talk about Virginia sports, and we're Olympic sports, but our Olympic sports are pretty dang good.
Yeah.
I'll take something, Virginia Tech. I mean, there's a lot we can say. Softball.
Lacrosse got back on the winning side of things. Yeah, was it yesterday?
Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah,
I think it was over. Was it High Point?
I
think it was High Point. It was like 17-8 or something.
It was.
But yeah, go ahead. I know.
No, I think it. Yeah, I forgot to put that one in my notes. Softball team. When was that game? Sunday? Monday?
The walk-off home run
The
against
UCLA
UCLA
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was MC Eaton with a 2-run homer against number 4 UCLA to walk that one off. The softball team is now 5-5, but they easily could be 8-2.
Oh
7.
yeah, and the schedule they played, Jeff. Good God.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing a top 10 team like every game out.
Yeah. Baseball.
We tried to get Eaton on for give her some props, give her some time, but didn't get a response on that one. So I'm not sure how much she's on those shows. A lot of these athletes just completely get off of social media during the season too. So it's,
I don't blame them either.
Yeah, you don't want to read.
There's a lot of garbage out there.
Yes. Yeah.
Baseball team 2-1 in Puerto Rico. Lost the opener to Michigan, but then came back and won the next 2 games. That pitching staff looked pretty good. Yeah, we know the bats are going to come to play.
Yeah.
So
did you see what Michigan did to Villanova?
What did they what talk to me?
Holy crap. 19-0. Which we beat Villanova in a close game. We beat Rice 7-0.
And
Villanova
was 3. Was it
3-1?
Something like that.
Yeah. But Jeff, did you see my tweet on the William and Mary baseball game?
Yes, I did.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
William and Mary scored 22 runs. Like, we should be afraid, right?
Right.
They got run ruled. They
gave up. Yeah.
36-22, and it didn't even go 9 innings.
Yeah.
Gave up a 17-run inning. What are you doing at the college level? Especially this early in the year when it's cold out, the bats ain't like ringing,
Right.
And it's like, what happened?
17-run inning, unbelievable.
I mean, Virginia would have put up 50.
Yeah, no doubt. When the kids play Little League and they got the 5-run limit in the inning, boy, some of them minutes could still be going on today.
I'm throwing on the white flag when I'm giving up 17 in an inning. Just go ahead and take the W.
That's right. A time limit. Oh gosh.
Yeah, we surrender.
So
the USA has taken a 2-1 lead halfway through the second period.
Oh, with Canada. All right. Well, I think that's about all we got tonight. Next week, like we said, we got Tyler Neville on Thursday, which will probably air on Friday. And I don't know if Tuesday we may do another live, depends on a guest situation, or we definitely, Jay's got some thoughts on the college football playoff, and he's got some ideas. We're going to call him
Surefire solution to fix the problem.
We're going to call him Jay parentheses or quotations Mike Greenberg Ballard. With this one, sounds like one of Mike Greeny.
It's the solution to end all solutions.
So Jay says he's going to fix college football. So I'm interested to hear exactly what he's going to do to fix it. And we'd love to hear your comments on how you think college football can get fixed as well, or bring your ideas to the show so that we can talk it out. But
that's right.
So Virginia plays Carolina Saturday in basketball in North Carolina, and we'll see. North Carolina hasn't been very good this year, as they were supposed to be. That's another coach on the hot seat, and
winnable game, but not going to be easy. They will out-athlete us if we're not careful.
Yep. Check out the game Saturday and check us back out next week. Make sure you go to our YouTube page and like and subscribe to our channel at the Cavalier Connection Podcast. You can go to follow us on Twitter, Talk UVA Sports, and Instagram. We are at the _Cavalier_Connection_. And Twitch, Jay, I mean, not TikTok. What is it? I don't know it.
Yeah, TikTok. We have it. I don't know. Go to the
TikTok.
YouTube page. All of our links, Jeff. I don't know if you know if you saw this, but I linked all of our accounts to the YouTube page so they can get to anything we have from YouTube.
TikTok. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. You can catch us somehow.
That's right.
But we'll catch you guys next week, and everyone have a good evening. Go Hoos.